Now, I guess. Yep. Yep.
Yes,
I
yeah.
guess we are. So let's wait for some time so we get the viewers, and then we can start. I guess. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. So welcome guys to the 25th episode of Sada Live webinars. So that we are having. So currently today we have a topic of a guide to becoming a software engineering without a degree. So this is kind of a controversial topic basically here in Pakistan with the degree and the skills on site. So most people choose degree. Most people say that you should do skills and get into software engineering. So today we will discuss this with one of our own software engineer from SadaPay that has not have a degree software engineering, basically a software engineering degree, and he got into SadaPay. So I'll go ahead by introducing myself and with Aday. So I'm the junior software developer working here at SadaPay. I basically don't have a degree. I'm a high school graduate working here at SadaPay. I have around 1 or 2 years of experience in software engineering. I have quite experience in open source projects. I have done some open source project that has rendered on GitHub and have around 2.5k stars. Basically that's my intro. So go ahead, Ade, introduce yourself to our viewers.
Awesome, man. Thank you thank you everyone for joining on this webinar. Yes, as Saad said, my name is Aday. I've been a software engineer since 2016. I actually graduated for marketing, and then I transitioned into software engineer for the last 4 years. Yeah, previously I worked as a software consultant for ThoughtWorks, working for several companies across Europe. And then I joined SadaPay just right after. I've been here for 3 months now, and it's been fantastic journey so far. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's me.
that's it. So let's go ahead, Ade, and basically I'll start with like how things are in Pakistan, how things goes, like how we do degrees and stuff like that. So basically here in Pakistan we have a degree module where you could do the universities and basically so in Pakistan I'll say basically it's the doing degree is good, but we have also separate bootcamp and stuff like that we have like Salani, Uptake and stuff like that do basic bootcamp stuff. And I'll say that you have also done bootcamp and I also done bootcamp. So basically most of the people who have done bootcamp and stuff like that, so there's a problem in finding their niche, like do they opt for the back end, should they opt for the front end, and should they go on the DevOps sites. So there's a little bit of like they don't know where to go. So what's your take on this, like how did you find your niche, and then I'll go that how did I go with it.
Well, currently I'm a full stack software engineer. I'm working as a consultant previously. It made me really open to try new things, and that's where I will go, right? I certainly will choose to try new things, try, and keep trying since you are starting. Just try all front end, back end, infrastructure, DevOps, whatever you think. And along the way, you will find what you truly like, because you don't know what you like until you try, right?
Yeah.
So I will say go for one and start trying other things and see what is your passion on it, right? That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Um,
I also go with your point of view that you should try, and I think you should like build side projects on the side that you have done, like build the whole full stack, like go with the back end, build your own front end, go with the DevOps, and find like that what interests you, like what you find, like what excites you doing, and that's your niche that you love doing, and you should go for that. And the
exactly.
basic, yeah. And the second is like what's there's like the versus like university degree versus the boot camp, university degree versus self-learning and stuff like that. So let's go with the first question, like what's the biggest advantage of having a university degree? What's like, I'll say from my point of view, like in Pakistan, so having a university degrees helps you get a job. I'll say if you are good at it, you can get a job. So, but you have to wait for 4 years. And if you have a university degree, it's easier to work abroad, like in US and Canada and stuff like that. So it's easier for you to work abroad if you are a new fresh graduate and if you have 1 or 2 year experience. So that's basically gets into. But you should be an exceptional student in getting that. And basically, I have seen here in Pakistan most of the university students when I was like studying at Salani, one of the boot camps here in Karachi. So basically in Salani there were a lot of university students that were learning from there. So basically they were also learning from the university side, and they were also getting into boot camps to learn other market skills to get the job and stuff like that. So basically I'll say that if you want a degree, get it just for the education, get it just that you have a degree to show and stuff like that. And here in Pakistan, you say that you won't get a marriage proposal until you have a degree, stuff like that. So that's how you get the marriage. So, what's your take on this, Aday? That what's how does university help?
Um, I agree on many of the points that you have said, actually all of them, because it's true. As a fresh being fresh from university, it's easier to get a job when you have your degree, right? And you have no experience, so it is important, right? Because your experience is time that you have been in the university. And one thing I will add is like university, I guess in computer science, for what I heard from other people, other colleagues, is that give you a base of how that data structures work, algorithmics, and so on, right? Which is important as well. At the same time, I think, and for what I have found during these 4 years, is that you can get this knowledge from books as well, or
Right.
from online courses. I will say it's important that you go for online courses, but with some academic basis, because you can find a lot of the stuff online, and sometimes it's not. I don't recommend to anyone to go to any online material you find around. You always try to backtrack and see who is the tutor, what is teaching you seriously, and talk it out with other colleagues and see if it makes sense to follow this course or not before committing to one. So that's what I say, that it actually the degree gives you the base and give you helps you maybe for the first job, to land in first job. But that's it, right? And I on this that's on the side of the knowledge, and also I think going to university also makes you connect with a lot of people. I think, Sad, we have this conversation previously, right? Like,
Yeah.
you go to university, you make a lot of friendships and get to know a lot of people, which I think is fantastic as well, right?
Yeah. But
Um, but going to the point of landing in a job is more about the skills, right? And that you can find them by books and online courses as well. At least the basis
yeah.
of computer science, I believe.
There are most people who learn from boot camps and like books and self-learning, so they find it really hard in getting their first job. So they find like getting how did I, if I'm learning on my own, if I'm learning on my own, like I have a boot camp and stuff like that. So they find hard in getting their first job. So basically for me is like that, if you have good personal projects, if you have good contribution on open source and stuff like that, that would really help you in getting your job here in Pakistan. So basically here in Pakistan, most people say that if you don't have a degree, it's not really easy to get a job here in Pakistan. So if you have good personal projects and stuff like that, that would really help you get a job. So Ade, my question for you is like, how did you really get a job on your first job after the boot camp?
Um, I just finished the bootcamp, and actually, I applied to two companies. I was ThoughtWorks was the second one, and I just got the job with ThoughtWorks. But basically, as you said, I had around 6, 7 projects at the moment from doing the bootcamp. I did like 5 to 6 projects in there. So that actually showed my skills at the time. And I think it's a really important point that you posed, right? To have a code to show, right, to
Yeah,
potential employers.
yeah,
So, and I will say that from all the people that I did the bootcamp with, it's a try and error, man. Like, sometimes not everyone is good at acing the interviews. You have to try and error, and keep trying to see, because sometimes you maybe are too nervous for the first interviews and so on. And you have to keep polishing yourself along the way to get to the right level that you
yeah.
can get that job, right?
Yeah, actually, that's right. Because before getting my first internship, actually, I had gone through like 10 to 20 interviews, I'll say. That it was really hard for me, like getting the first internship, because I was doing Solani. I was the high school one. I don't have degree, so I also don't have like much open source project on that for the first time. But the thing that really helped me was the Google Coding, the one of the projects. So that thing really helped me a lot in getting my first internship and stuff like that. So let's go on the other thing, like what you think, like if you should do beyond the courses, like I'm Solani, if I'm doing another courses, like what do you think that you should do beyond the courses to ace in your jobs, to ace the coding interview and stuff like that? So what do you think on that?
I think we've gone over it well. Like we said, I think it's just doing personal projects. Also, I don't know if there is in Pakistan. Surely there is, like, in here in Europe, there's like this lab places where you go and with all the people that is doing software development, and you can be pair programming, or you can be asking questions to people that know a bit more, and you can help others, and joining these kind of communities in your city where you can actually exchange knowledge and get to meet people. I think that's really helpful to land in your first job, and to help you to get started on the industry.
Yep. So
Is there in Pakistan at the moment anything? I'm sure that it's a place where you can go to code, like.
not right now. I guess you can't just go somewhere and code. I guess there's some events like some events like GDG and React Karachi and stuff like that. But mostly they are like they give seminars and talks. But mostly they don't have like you can just go and do pair program and stuff like that. You really raised a good point on that. Like we should have something like that. Like we should go to a community or a community hall or something like that. That should have some developers that are ready for pairing and stuff like that. That's a really good point. Like, do you have that in your country where you live?
Yeah, and also there's these communities that there's developers from the current developers from in the community, for example, and they host on their companies, and these companies sponsor it, meetings inside of the company to do a code kata, for example, and everyone can join, and you do pair programming usually, and then you get to know people from the company and so on. Around the industry. I don't know if are they in Pakistan companies doing a kind of open doors that people can go and do a code kata and this kind of stuff?
I'm not sure. I don't think so that we have that kind of companies here in Pakistan. But most of the companies are like sponsoring events and like GTG and stuff. Before that, where I was working, the company the Interactive sponsor one of the GD events. So basically, they're sponsoring events for the seminars and stuff like that, but not for the code kata and stuff like that. But that's the really good point that we should have something like that. We could have SadaPay do it for us, like
for sure we can do that. For sure we can do that.
We could make SadaPay do it, the code kata for we could bring it after the pandemic, hopefully. Yeah. So on the freelancing side, have you done any freelancing?
No, actually, I have not done any freelancing. I've been working as a consultant always, but I guess it has some similarity to it.
Yeah, actually. But I've also never done freelancing. I tried to do freelancing actually on Fiverr and Upwork, but that didn't work out for me. I think that it's not that kind of thing that I am like doing it, but it's the people who are getting out from boot camps and that don't have a degree, the professional software engineering degree, opt for getting into freelancing, and they are making quite a good bucks out of it. So I guess if you don't have a professional degree, I can say, and if you don't, it's really hard for you finding a job. You can start with Fiverr and Upwork and get going on that.
All right. I heard that freelance is really really powerful in Pakistan at the moment.
Yeah,
that's great.
And there's one more thing on like when you are self-learning and stuff like that. So basically, most of the people like literally like me, then when I'm doing some courses and stuff like that, so I just watch videos and I don't opt into practical implementation of that and stuff like that. So what's your take on this? Like how much time should watch doing courses, videos, and actually coding your learning journey? So
I totally am from the school of whatever you watch, you implement it,
Oh, okay.
because that's the way that you actually, that at least on my side is the way that I learn. If Because if I don't implement it, if I don't see the caveats on it, I actually don't get it on me, right? I cannot learn it. So I need to
Right.
see the whole aspect of whatever I'm watching.
No, actually, that's a really good point. Like, if you have two lap screens, like you could watch one video on that and have a other one coding on that. That's really nice on that. So, uh,
Yeah.
okay, moving on. Like, what do you think? Like, if from my perspective, if I'm a self-taught developer, like if I've learned from my, there are some like some loopholes and like some real engineering practices that are taught in degree that in taught in university that I miss out on. Like for me, it was basically when I learned, I didn't go much deeper into data structure and algorithms that I'm doing right now. So basically, in university, in the university degree, in the 4 years that you teach, they teach you every aspect, like on the networking side and you say data structure, algorithm, all the CS work, and a lot of stuff on that. So how do you suggest like how to if I'm a newbie, I've just got into data, if I just want to get into software engineering, so what's your take, like how what first language should you pick, what the first CS concept you should learn, and how you should navigate your way into it?
Right. That's a broad question, but for me, because it covers so many aspects, right?
Right.
First thing I will tell you is to learn a language.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. People, Many people has asked me this question of which language should I learn if I want to start
Yeah.
learning programming. I always say go to the language that you feel more comfortable with. The language
Assembly
that is
language.
language that is more understandable for you.
Yeah.
Um, like I started with Ruby, for example,
Oh, nice.
and Ruby is really visual. Like it's almost as written words. So it made
Oh.
it really easy at the beginning for me to understand it. Compared to Java, for example, it's really typed language. That it's really confusing at the beginning. So going to a language that you can understand and that you can apply the patterns and so on is the way to go. Because at the end of the day, any language that you learn, as long as you learn the patterns and how to implement things, the rest is mostly syntaxes. Any language that you jump in, you just have to learn the syntaxes and how to write it, but then it's done because as long as you know how to implement patterns and so on, it should be all right.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
great.
I will say that you at the same time you're learning to code, you should be backing up yourself with computer science with basis like the data structures. I will start always with data structures and then understand how loops works, understand stacks, fee focus, and all this kind of stuff that you can get on. Because it's gonna pay off it's gonna pay off on your learning, right? Like because things are gonna start to click
Yeah.
on the way that you're learning.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
what do you think
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, I'll say
What's your
that.
way? How do you start actually? How is it,
Actually,
which language and how do you do it?
actually, I started with basically JavaScript when I was like starting out. So no, I first started with like C sharp.
Right.
I did one course from I just burned my money in that. Like it was like for 14,000 Pakistani rupees. I did that like when I was 14 or 15. C sharp and ASP.NET, and I don't remember a word or sentence from that. So it was really bad. And after that, I started with basically the basics: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the front end languages that we do basically. But I'll
Yeah.
say I didn't do much data structure and algorithms when I was starting out. I'll say that if you are just starting out, if you're really into like getting into software engineering, there is one of the courses that I'd really recommend is CS50 by Harvard. I don't know if you have watched that course. Basically, that's the basic. That's the really basic, and the teacher is really awesome. So it goes with data structural algorithms and all the CS basics, and then it goes to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And how do you want to choose your path? If you want to go into JavaScript, if you want to go into Python and stuff like that. So I'll say if you are just really getting into software engineering and want to start your career, go with the CS50 by Harvard course, and that's a really awesome. And I think if you're just be starting with out with the basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you go on. I start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then I opt for React and stuff like that. And then I did some of the Node.js and stuff. Then when I was stuck, I don't know what to do. I was missing something. I know I was missing. That was data structure and algorithm that I learned after a lot of time after, like 6 to 1 year after I was in my career of software engineering. I think I would say that you should learn data structure and algorithms at the very beginning. So as you said, that it start clicking on your mind. That's what's going on and how the things works. So I'll say that's the pretty much the example that you said.
And to add on that, I will say it's really, really important to, if you have the chance, if you know someone that already is a developer, to get that person as a mentor, get that person to make questions, meet with them, pay them a coffee or a tea or whatever you like, once a week or once or twice a month, and say, hey, let's go over what I'm learning and see what do you think.
Yeah,
Because someone that keeps track on you is gonna be really beneficial, because he's gonna make you lose way less time. It's gonna say, okay, you should go this direction, and then you as a beginner, you can actually narrow it down and go directly where you want to really go, and not be wandering around.
Yeah, that's a really nice solution. Like if you have a mentor that really guide you, that would be really helpful. If you're doing a boot camp or stuff like that, you really have a mentor, so that can help you. Like if you're on your own, like self-taught and learning on using YouTube tutorials and stuff like that, having a mentor is like really help you not go in the wrong direction, or that nagging every courses that you have on the Udemy and buying every courses. So that's the thing that really helped you, I guess.
And I have to say that something that I really, really love from this industry, and it's something that I fall in love when I started doing software development. It's the community. The community is amazing. Like everyone wants to learn from everyone, from each other. So take advantage of that.
Yeah,
Really
I guess.
take advantage of it, because it's fantastic.
I guess.
It's what I recommend to everyone. Approach communities, find a mentor, and ask questions all the way.
Yeah, except the Stack Overflow community. If you're new, don't put, don't put like that's the very good community. But I'll say that they're really the people person posting on that. But I except from that, I've seen like for me, when I was in the front end, for me it was mostly the front end community. It was really nice. Like the people were always really helpful. If you post any question on that, I'll say that in if you are in your country, in your city, there must be some country or city specific communities. Like here we have React Karachi, GDG Karachi for Karachi, and if you are in your country, join that community. That will be really helpful for you. And find seniors that are already in the software engineering field for like 4 to 8 years, and that they can really help you, or they can really help you in getting is the software engineering field, I guess I'll say.
Exactly, and don't lose motivation. If someone is not keen to help, you don't have to stick to a mentor. You can have several mentors. You can find the right person to help you on this journey. So
I'll say that losing motivation is also the key point here. Like when you're learning on your own, you are like there's a chance that you lose motivation on learning the stuff. Like when I'm doing it, like if I want to learn a new language, if the course is like 10 or 20% completed, I'll say I'll lose motivation to do that anymore. So what do you say that how to keep motivated, stay motivated on this?
Make goals. Make it small goals. Right. Put it in a board, on a board or on an agenda. Like write somewhere, and it's as if you say, okay, I want to reach to 15% this week. And once you check just the feeling of checking something out, that's a really a big motivator, right? Like when you see that you are evolving, when you are moving forward, for me that's a big motivator. That's what I recommend to people to divide a big goal that you have, divide it in small goals, and go along the way. And when you realize you're gonna be almost done, and you have done an amazing journey, and you have been motivating yourself just by committing to small pieces of learning,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's the way that works for me, to be honest.
I'll, I'll say I'll try doing that. I've tried done that. I've tried doing that, like building some small changes and stuff like that. But after some while, I'll say like leave it. I'm only good with JavaScript. I'll do that. Don't go to Python and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it happens.
I'll say that if you want to really learn a language, go with the projects.
Yeah,
uh, Build something, like start with building calculators, start with building some games and stuff like that. So that would really help you gain some knowledge on that.
something, or ask people around you, hey, something, if there is something simple that you could build for them, something
Yeah,
that really has to motivate you somehow, right? Like what you want to build.
yeah.
Uh, so you ask people around. That's people sometimes comes with amazing ideas, man. That you can
I'll say,
that actually are possible to build with not so much knowledge at the beginning. So
yeah,
I'll
I'll
go
say
for that.
opt out for, like, ask your friends also in the environment and friends and family that what do you think that I can build for you. Like if you're learning a JavaScript website, build your friend a website that will, if he can give you some bucks on building that, that would be really helpful. But you can try building that, and that would really help you getting to know the language and stuff that goes behind that.
Yeah, totally.
uh, Anything else that you want to share today on this?
Yeah. I wonder, how's in this in the bootcamp that you did in Karachi, what actually you covering as a software engineer? What at the moment you cover in this kind of bootcamps?
Okay, so basically, you'll say that it's not basically the bootcamp; it's basically the course. It's basically the front end development course. So basically, it's not a software engineering bootcamp. It's basically the front end development course. So I'll say I'll cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, React Native, Node.js, Express, and stuff like that. Basic front end, back end, stuff like that. So I'll say that here in Karachi and here in Pakistan, have we basically have a boot camp, but it's quite long. It's for 2 to 3 years. That is in Aptic here in Karachi. It's a software engineering boot camp similar to the university that the courses the university have. But I say that I've seen some curriculum from the boot camp you did, that it was quite nice, that they're teaching some of the really good stuff, like the data structural algorithms, terminals, and stuff like that. The basic CS, and then it goes on towards the next things. I'll say that the what I did was basically the front end development course, not the software engineering one. So I'll say that
Okay.
if you're doing that, if you're doing a front end development course, start with this also the CS Harvard CS 50 course. That would really help you gain the CS knowledge and also your niche in the front end development. So that's really good. So
Yeah.
what's your one, like? How did you go into it? Like, what did you study at your bootcamp?
So in the bootcamp, when I started, from day one, you start with agile methodologies. Like you first from day one, you have the stand-ups, then you have retrospectives once or twice a week. And we started first with the CSS, HTML for a pre-course for 2 weeks, and that was done by ourselves. And then we really started the course with all the teammates and so on. And there we started, as you said, with the Java methodologies, and we started looking at Ruby, and we were learning backend first. Yes, we are doing a backend. Then we started to add database and doing projects. We will be learning all the concepts for a whole week, and then on the weekend you have a project which you will have to present on Monday to the rest of the teammates, and everyone could review it and so on, right? And I have to say all of this was doing pair programming as well. we would be doing pair rotations daily. So
Oh,
that will make during the week as well. We will have. I mean, when you're learning during the week, you also have a project, and you will do it. You do pair programming all the way, and you every day you switch. One is an anchor, and then you switch. And then on the weekends you have your own project that you will do by yourself, and you will present it on Monday. And we started with backend, then we did front end, and then we did a whole project altogether. Um, you'll be learning from day one TDD, test-driven design from the beginning. Use agile methodologies. You do extreme programming. You get to know solid concepts from the very beginning, and putting shit really on those. And that's where you get it. The bootcamp takes 12 weeks,
great.
15 weeks with the pre-course. And yeah, that's what I completed. It's really intense, I have to say. And what I got from my side, what I mostly got, is when people ask what do you really learn, I say I learn all those concepts, but you also learn at the beginning as a software developer is to be frustrated. It's what I say always, to be frustrated to not knowing,
Yeah.
because that's the biggest learning I think in software development, to understand, to be frustrated about not knowing things and keep
Yeah.
going. That's
Yeah.
what you get,
You
and
don't
to
know
find
everything. Yeah.
find the answers yourself. So
Yep.
that's it.
Yeah, that's basically that's a really great curriculum if we have in here in Karachi or in Pakistan. That would be really great. I'll say that there are a lot of online boot camps that are happening that you could take like for 12 to 15 weeks. But that is a really great curriculum. I'll say that. And usually here in Karachi, Pakistan, they mostly don't do the trust-driven development, or like they don't teach testing the way it should be taught. I'll say that I'll start testing quite a while ago, and I'm really doing the test-driven development here in SadaPay, using the pair programming and pair rotation, the ping pong testing that we are doing. So basically, I'll say that we should focus more on the pair programming. So the pair programming really helps you in becoming like a good software engineer. So basically, the two minds are on the one thing, and that one has a different opinion, you have a different opinion, and that's really help you get to the best solution at a time. So if you're like working in a company, like if you're doing a story, or if you're doing an epic or something like that, you should try to get a pair on that. So that would really help you code good code, because there are two heads involved in that. So I'll say so. Thank you, Aday, for doing that. I'll
Uh,
say that if
Absolutely, man.
yeah, SadaPay should start some boot camp or something like that with that curriculum. You can teach
Hopefully
us.
soon. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, yes.
That'll be fantastic, man.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I'll say, do we have
and
anything else to cover?
yeah, for for you, how was it to land in a job? Uh, uh, how did it work out for you? How was it?
Uh, I'll say that it was really hard for me to get my first internship. I'll say it was really
Mhm.
hard for me to get my first. Basically, the most of the internship that I applied to were mostly like unpaid. So they'll say that we won't pay you, so you can come. And I was like on that that if you don't pay me, I won't be working for you. So I'll say that landing my first internship or my first job, uh, I work for the attractive, and I'll say that the thing that really helped me was one of my open source projects, and one of my competition that I was the one of the first Pakistani to be selected as a Google coding finalist. So that was something that really helped me in getting my first job. So I'll say that if you are a self-taught developer here in Pakistan, here in Karachi, so if you don't have projects, if you don't have side projects to showcase, or if you don't have some open source contribution to showcase, I'll say it would be really hard for you to get a job here, especially here in Pakistan. So I'll say if you are a self-taught developer here in Pakistan, so try to get some open source project, try to get into some open source contribution, try to do some side projects, try to participate in hackathons. If you have win one or two hackathons, that's really great. That would really help you in getting the first job. And if after trying a lot of things, if you still are not getting it, because I'll say the market is really such. There are a lot of jobs, but like they're for the most experienced one. There are a lot of low. You can say that the low frequency of getting internships here. So most of the companies don't offer internships in a year or 2 years. So I'll say if you don't get internship or get a job, start with the freelancing project and stuff like that. That would really help you get the projects on board. And if you don't like freelancing, you can then start working on other things, I would say.
Totally, totally. Yeah, and I want to say, and when for example when you were doing interviews where all the companies were like saying, hey, you don't have a degree, and or they were actually proactively looking at whether you have whether you have projects going on and so on. How was that experience on your side?
Yeah, I'll say that most companies that invited for the interview, they already know that I don't have a degree. So basically, they were basically going on the skill set and the projects that I have. They basically, I'll say, if some companies in software engineering are is specifically asking for your degree, that you should, if even if you have 1 or 2 years experience and they still ask for your degree, I'll say that's a filter for you, that company is not for you. I'll say that
Yeah.
there are a lot of other companies that accept software engineers without degree that have skills. I'll say for me it was like they were mostly looking for the skill sets and like basic projects and stuff like that. And I'll say start with the real basic. If you get internship, do internship. If you get an entry level job, you can do
Hmm.
the entry level job, software engineering, stuff like that. And there is like a stigma between this, like software engineering interviews, like that's really you could say data structure and algorithmic base, I'll say. But in the foreign, I'll say, not here in Pakistan, they're mostly like, if you're going for the front end, they're really easy. If you know the basic JavaScript and stuff, they're like just trick questions using that set timeout and loops and while less cons. So if you really know the basics of JavaScript, you're good to go on that. So, but what's your on your side? That how was your interview? Like, it was really algorithmic or data
It was really
structure or?
positive. On my side, both the interviews were quite similar. But no, actually, mine didn't focus on the one that I did for hours at a time. Didn't focus on, was more focused on your aim to learn, like how keen you are on learning new languages, because also as a consultant you have to be really open to do front end, back end, and to learn other stuff. I mean, you can, of course, you can narrow down to just do back end if you want, but sometimes different languages, right? And that was the reason to assess how open you are to different languages, and to be switching on different clients, and at the same time, I would say that is also how you work, how you are as a teammate, right? You also do pair programming on the session, see how you work with other people, how you are open to comments on your code, if you are if you, and also if you are able to teach others, right? So that's, I think it's really important for companies nowadays to be doing those things, right? To Because at the end of the day, we are all humans and we want to learn from each other, and it's important that you bring people on board that actually want to learn from each other and not point fingers, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'll say the most different interview that I had was with SadaPay. I had like 3 to 4 coding interviews with SadaPay, like the technical ones, but they were not like the super algorithmic or something like that. They were basically the thing you told, that you should be a good teammate, you should know how to do the things and stuff like that. So I'll say that most companies are like changing the way that the basic interview question or the basic interview goes on. Like the most companies, Tarashi also, and in the phone, like they are mostly not on the day-to-day tasks. They are mostly on the algorithmic and data structure and stuff like that you go with reversing a binary tree and something like that. So that's a
Yeah.
basically. So I'll say for me the SadaPay interview was the best. So I'll say that it was really great interview that I had in a long time. So I'll say that's why I'm in SadaPay. I'll say that's.
Exactly, because
I,
at the end of the day, the connection, right? It's the connection that you have with the company. It's you said it before. Like sometimes you see that company is not fit for you,
mm,
so you have to find a fit as well. It has to be a bi-directional feeling, right? So
yeah.
yeah.
I'll say we can go with the interview. Oh, with the questions. I'll say. Okay. So when when do you know your learning is enough and you are ready for the real engineering job? Okay.
I
So
I can go
okay.
for that one.
Okay. Sure. Go.
I mean, it's not that it's a kind of you when you are it's on you, right? It's the confidence that you have on yourself. You don't know what actually some companies are expecting from you. So I always say when you know how to program and you know that you can create code and things that you reckon is well built, you're good to go. You just have to try out in companies, and as we talked before, we have to do interviews and see if you are fit for that company or not.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I'll
Sad?
say, yeah, I'll say the same thing that you learn on the go, and I'll say that learning is never enough to get the first job. I'll say if you know the basics, I'll say the basics, yes, OCS, you can go with the internship and stuff like, and you learn along the way. I'll say along the way you learn the different things. So I'll say if you know you could do it, so just for up for the interview and entry level job, that would really help you, and you could go ahead.
Yeah, totally agree.
So that's one from that. To know the advantages of coming to software engineering a different way to the usual way are the ways you think it help you and your team. Okay.
Absolutely. I think it's it helped me in my side. It helped me a lot to coming from another background. I come from marketing, as I said, and for me it was really a comfortable transition to say, for example, to be building products, for example, because I know what is the life cycle of a product, and I could sometimes translate my knowledge to the development team, and be able to smooth up the communication between the product and the engineering team in some projects that I worked in the past.
That's really nice. I'll say I'll come the usual way. I have not done anything else. I'll I'll go with that. I'll say that if you have some other knowledge apart from, like, if I've seen people that have really good math skills, like they have done the masters and bachelors in maths and stuff like that. So they're really good at software engineering practices because that machine learning and stuff like that. So they're really good at that. So if you have come in the software engineer different way, that can really help you in any way that you could think of. I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you've done customer service or whatever it comes,
Yeah.
you always have a way that to bring those what you have learned in the past to your current position. Always. Uh, we have a comment from Mustafa Harun. I have always it's a comment. I have always advised my juniors to get into a side hustle, to something that helps you learn some cool stuff and polish your profile at the same time. Always helps you to go the extra mile. Thanks, Mustafa.
Definitely. Definitely. That's really helpful.
Okay.
Please both experience and what type of interviews and stages in SadaPay. So I guess Aday, you are doing some kind of interviews nowadays, so you can go
Yes.
ahead.
Um, right now, I think we are doing mostly software engineer level, like medium level as experience. And the stages are first the candidate will make the application, then we'll go through a screening interview, then will be a code assignment, then a technical interview, then a values interview, and and then we'll be offered. Yes,
Then you are in SadaPay. Welcome to
and you're
SadaPay.
in SadaPay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Do you think a degree helps more if you already have the skills, or skills is enough to progress in professional life forward?
okay. So I'll say that degree definitely help you on the first go, right? In the first try. If you have a degree, it would be really helpful to get your first job really easily. But if you really have the skills, if you have a degree and if you don't have a skills, you won't get a job. So that's a simple step. So if you really have a degree and the skills both, you will get a job easily. But if you simply have the skills, it would be harder for you to get a job. But if you have some side project and stuff like that to showcase, it would really be easy for you to get your first job and get to it. And I'll say for skills enough to progress in professional life forward, like in the software engineering side perspective, if you have like 3 to 4 year experience in the software engineering, I'll say after that, if you want to switch to different companies and stuff like that, nobody, I'll say, ask for your degree. I'll say, what's your take? Did anyone ask for your degree or something like that? I'll say after some time of experience, you don't, anyone don't ask for your degree. It's basically the skills and the experience level.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will go always for the skills. But I mean, I have seen some people that would like to when they're doing software, they are already in their job. They're doing also the computer science degree, because sometimes it's just because they also like it and want to get the academic knowledge of it. And I understand that. But as Asad said, I agree totally on it. Like, you have the skills, you are good to go, I think. And you can back up yourself with, as we said before, with books and community and online material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally, totally. So I guess we wrap up this session. I'll say thank you all for joining us today on this session on Guide to Becoming a Software Engineer Without a Degree. I'll say that it would, if you are getting into software engineering, that this session would really help you. And keep following SadaPay on the channel and Facebook and YouTube, where we're following to get more content on the engineer perspective on the CX and marketing. So thank you all for joining us. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Aday. Bye.
Thank you.